This module of Worker Safety University is selection criteria of flame retardant garments. In this module, our objectives are to understand the selection criteria involved for an end user in flame retardant garments, and please realize that each of these topics will be explained in much more detail in a later Worker Safety University module. On this slide, the criteria that an end user needs to consider for garment selection are shown in ascending order from the bottom to the top, the bottommost item being most important, topmost being least important, and we'll explore each of these just briefly for a definition. First criteria that customers need to be concerned about is performance standards, and there's a number of different performance standards that exist. The performance standards that most people will generally point to in the United States are NFPA 2112, and NFPA 2112 is considered a minimum level of performance that a garment needs to achieve or a fabric needs to achieve to be considered flame retardant. One of the things that people most often misunderstand or miss on this, though, is that there are some additional considerations that need to come into play. And the most important of those is that an end-use customer needs to actually do a hazard analysis on just exactly what their hazard is in their environment to determine what level of protection their workers need. In many cases, an NFPA 2112 3-second performance compliant garment may not be sufficient to provide the workers a level of protection that they need for their particular hazard. And that's where the protection item comes in. Realize that if the hazard for a particular group of industrial workers is a 4 or 5 or 6 or 7-second fire, that the workers must be protected at that level and not just at the NFPA 2112 3-second level. Next most important criteria for garment selection and flame retardant garments for workers is comfort. Obviously, if employees are not comfortable, they're not likely to wear the garments as they're supposed to. They're also not likely to care for them properly, to have the respect for them, and they're potentially not going to wear them at all if they're in a particular work environment where supervision is not 100%. Cost effectiveness is the next important consideration for end-use customers. And of course, cost consideration has a lot of different factors. The first and foremost thing to understand, though, is that the protection of the employees is what is absolutely most important, and it's very difficult to put a cost on that. However, many people usually do. They look at the initial purchase price of a garment, and they don't consider what the process in use or the value in use for that particular garment is during the entire life cycle. And what we will do in a later module is to explore in a lot of detail the different factors that go into evaluating exactly what the cost of a particular PPE technology is for the end-use wearers. The last selection criteria that we look at is quality. And many customers want to know how do they know the quality of the garment that they're getting. In a later module, we'll explore a lot of the different attributes that go into how we define the quality of flame retardant garments. But rest assured that DuPont takes quality extremely seriously. We have a quality-focused trademark licensee program, and customers can rest assured that if they're purchasing a garment that has the Nomex or the Proterra name tag on it, that they are getting the quality that is intended by the DuPont Corporation in these fabrics and these products.